Hello? Hold on. Let me check that everything is working. That should be Twitch, and that should also be YouTube. Hello! We are back at it again. I did not plan on actually streaming today. I'm not feeling particularly great, but a bunch of stuff came out that I wanted to talk about, so here we are. Here we are. I'm gonna bring up all my tabs. There's a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about, so we'll probably jump right into it. And maybe we'll do a little bit of gamers, but no promises. I've spent the entire day editing the next video, and unfortunately, this might have been the least productive day I've had in months. Today was not a good day. It's not been a productive day at all. Hopefully tomorrow goes better. Luckily, it's a shorter video, so I don't need to go like all out. But yeah. That said, that's Twitch, YouTube. All right, everything is up and everything is all right. I don't think I should be having any more weird glitches like I did last time. I think I figured everything out. The only thing that still doesn't work for some reason is I can't see my YouTube stats where I'm supposed to be seeing my YouTube stats, and I don't know why that is the case, because it should be working. And I don't know why it's not. Let me try one thing. And then if it doesn't update, then we'll just we'll get back to it. I don't think it updated. No, it did not. Well, El Bozo, I guess. Alright. Let's go through a few minor things before we get to the big SBS stuff, because the big SBS stuff is actually pretty big. And that's not even the like the main questions Oda said that he'll answer. This is still like the warm-up round. So I don't know what's going to actually be the big questions, because I assumed it wasn't going to be anything important. But this SBS kind of had a bunch of big stuff. So, you know. That said, let's get into this. First, very minor bit of news that, as it turns out, I was kind of wrong about. Sony is shutting down Concord completely. I thought that it would be repurposed into a free-to-play game, because apparently, I think if you go on SteamDB, you could see on the back end that it was being updated, right? Concord, where is it? Is it not here? Wait, has it been completely taken off? Oh no, there it is. So I think if you look at the where is it? Update history. So it's had a bunch of stuff going on behind the scenes, right? But it was actually just closed off completely. And yes, the funniest thing is the fact that there's going to be the secret level episode and Concord's going to be in that one. Which is like, you know. There's not really going to be a Concord to talk about. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Full internal email from Herman Hulst, rather. Dear team, today I want to share some important updates from Sony Interactive. We consistently evaluate games portfolio, sure. Expanding beyond PlayStation devices, sure. So this is basically saying we need to be strategic, yada yada. So basically what he's saying, you didn't make enough money, so that's why we're gonna fire you. While mobile remains a priority growth area for a studio business, we are in the very early stages of our mobile efforts. So this is basically saying, we hired you too quickly, now you're gonna be fired. With the refocused approach, Neon Koi will close and its mobile action game will not be moving forward. After much thought, we have determined that the best path forward is to permanently sunset the game and close the studio. I know none of this is easy news to hear, particularly with colleagues and friends departing, that both decisions were given a serious thought, and ultimately feel they're the right ones to strengthen the organization. I'm gonna be real with you, I never thought that this would actually happen. I thought they invested so much money into Concord that they would do something with it. You know, like the same thing that happened with Overwatch. It's like a piece of lore that I feel like a lot of people know nowadays, but I still think a lot of people don't. Overwatch was never an original game. Overwatch was supposed to be the next MMO that was supposed to be a sort of a StarCraft game, right? So Blizzard had World of Warcraft and they had StarCraft, and then they decided that World of Warcraft was so successful they're going to make a true next-gen MMO in the StarCraft universe, and that failed massively. And that's why Overwatch happened. They just reused the assets mostly, like what they've done there. So, you know, I thought they were going to do something like that, but they're just completely shutting it down. While today is a difficult day, there is much to look forward to in the months ahead from the studio business group and our teams. Why do they sound... Why are they called Studio Business Group? Is this like an internal thing? I don't know. It sounds like an actual dystopian evil corporate structure. Studio Business Group. I remain confident that we are building a resilient and capable organization driven by creating unforgettable entertainment experiences for our players. Well, you're going to have to be resilient if you're going to, like, throw $300 million away. Or $400 million, or however much it was. I mean, yeah. I mean, on one hand, it is, of course, it is unfortunate that this amount of money was just, like... That's it. It's just shot into the ether. There's good reason why people meme about the fact that, like, the PlayStation Pro is more expensive because you're paying the Concord tax. Right? Because this is a ludicrous amount of money. You could have funded 3 independent studios and they could have each made massive games. And it was just literally sent into the ether. Never to be seen again. So, you know. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I don't think there's been any more updates about this. Because this was literally happening like an hour ago. Jason Schreier first broke the story. Yeah, so this is, it's basically the same thing. Yeah. That's the end of Concord. It's going to be so weird, though, that they're going to have, like, the episode. When does it come out again? Secret level. Release date. So this comes out in December. It's gonna have a Concord episode. That's gonna be funny. Anyway, that's the Concord news. We'll talk about this. And that's all the One Piece stuff. Okay. Let me just get my tabs organized. I did want to talk about this because we talked about this on stream. I don't think I ever cut it together for a video. But we talked about this on stream. This whole chase thing. Basically, what people were doing is they were doing check fraud, right? And well, now the bank is suing them. So you know, this is your reminder that whenever you see an infinite money glitch, unfortunately, it's not going to be a exploit fast until it's patched out. Unfortunately, these patches will be retroactive. So I'm kind of surprised it took this long. I had completely forgotten about this. I thought all of them had already probably like suffered massive fines and that's it. Now they're actually suing them. Interesting. I'm kind of interested in how suing a customer in this context even works. Because they clearly broke like TOS, right? So can't you just fine them? Like, what's the point of suing someone? It might be like a technicality that it's a breach of contract and not actually TOS or something like that. Still the funniest thing ever. Infinite money glitch. I too enjoy infinite money glitches. One of my favorite things. Whenever I see one of those ads, invest $1,000, get $10,000 back, I always invest. I was told that all of my investments will arrive in when they're ready. They needed all my bank details and everything. They just told me to wait a little bit, and I'm still waiting. I'm gonna be rich. They're gonna send it all back to me. I'm gonna be rich. Concord. Okay, close that off. Infinite money glitches. I did want to talk about this very briefly. This, because there was a bunch of drama about this as well. So there's, what's happening right now? I think they're making the Squid Game reality show. I think there's going to be another season of that. I know there's season 2 of Squid Game. Season 2 of Squid Game comes out like November or December. It's coming out really, really soon. And, apparently there's also going to be an American one, right? And I genuinely think this could be a pretty good idea, because in the original show, it was clearly implied that this entire operation is much, much bigger than just like South Korea. It was pretty clear that that was the implication, that this is a worldwide network of secret rich people doing weird things, you know? But a lot of people were really, really mad about this, and I don't really know why. Like, who asked for this? Well, what if it's good, you know? And this is not a remake. This is just a different thing, I think. So, I don't know. I think this could be fun. I'm not saying it's going to be good. I'm just saying it could be fun. Why not? You know, like Kaiji has multiple seasons. Because a lot of people who are like, I do think one very, very valid argument here is the whole, you know how people don't watch things that are subtitled? So you're like missing out on most anime is now dubbed, but there's a bunch of stuff that is never dubbed, so people just don't watch it because they have to read the subtitles. I do think that is like a goofy reason for that, and I do think like this is one of those situations where you should remind people that maybe you should just watch the original with subtitles, because it's good TV and you don't need to make it in American or English. Aside from that though, I think this could be interesting. Is David Fincher? I don't know his name. What is he known for? David Fincher. What is he known for? I don't even know. He's the guy who made Fight Club? Okay, I'm locked in. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I'm locked. Okay. Okay. I mean, is there someone who is better fit for a show like Squid Game than the guy who made Fight Club? I didn't know it was him. What is he doing nowadays? He was the executive producer of my... Bro, he's made for... This is gonna be good. I didn't even know any of this. Why are people mad? I'm so locked in. I think this could actually be really, really... Well, I mean, the story might be pretty bad. Like, there is a chance that the story is bad, but at least it will look good and it'll be engaging. Even if the story, like the writing, is really, really bad, it will still be compelling. I need to watch Twin Peaks. People have told me to watch Twin Peaks for like years and years and years and years, and I still haven't watched it. I gotta watch it. Why don't they make a person read the subtitles like in Poland and Latvia? Why USA never tried this hack? Also, you never heard of Fincher? I've heard of Fincher, I just didn't know who he was. You mean like just a single person dubbing the subtitles? I think for something like America, I think you'd be laughed out of the room. I think that's mainly why. You know, and I think it's the same thing for something like Japan. I think like the US and Japan especially, like their voice acting industry is so incredibly strong that like getting a single person to dub the entire show would be, you know. Hello. What's good? Unfortunately, today has not been very good. But hopefully, with all the stuff we're going to talk about today, it's going to be better. Concept of the original Squid Game, using childhood games to criticize capitalism in class. I don't know how much American people still are connected to simple childhood games. I mean, yeah, I do think that, like, the core appeal of Squid Game, it will never have that sense of, what's the best word for this? I don't have like a good way to describe it, but the strongest part about Squid Game, I think, like one of the core appeals of it was the fact that it was South Korean, right? And for a lot of Western audiences, there are not a lot of South Korean shows, right? So all of those games and stuff like that, there was like that one layer of detachment that made it more compelling through the sense of that you're just seeing it for the first time, right? Like the cookie, for example. There's a reason why that became so popular, and stuff like that. So I don't know how that's going to work in the US. Like, I think they would have to make it fundamentally different, at which point is it Squid Game? So you raise a good point. I don't know. I do think that, like, criticizing class and all that could still work in the US, though. Most EU countries make fun of Germany and Russia for terrible one-person dubs. Unfortunately, it's the same thing here. We usually, like, if we get a dude and a girl to dub, that's already a W. Usually it's just one dude. It's just literally one dude. Whether it's a kid, whether it's a grown man, whether it's a woman, no one cares. It's just one dude. And it's really, really funny. Like, I'm very nostalgic, honestly, for those kinds of dubs. Posture check? I can't. I have to. I have a blanket. I can't do a posture check right now. Where does the phenomenon come from? It's just a budget thing. Like, we don't have enough voice actors for... Because I think, like, in Latvia, there really isn't a independent TV production thing at all. I think literally like 90% of television is produced by the government, right? Like, not produced by the government, but funded by the government. So everything is essentially coming out of their pocket. So you can't really get people to dub it because it's gonna be like better. You need to think about practicality in these cases, right? And we also have like laws about foreign language that like you can't... I think it changed recently. I think there are a bunch of channels that like must be dubbed in Latvian or they can be broadcast, right? It's like one of those language preservation things. Because if you go around like the city and listen to how kids talk nowadays, well, there's a reason why I'm speaking in English right now and I'm not streaming to a Latvian audience, you know? I am one of them. I don't use Latvian. Like, it's a bad thing, you know? There's barely 2 million of us. So a bunch of stuff like that is also another thing. But budget is, I think, the biggest thing. Like, they just can't afford to get more people. Americanization of TV shows usually doesn't go well. Generally, yes. I can't really think of a concept. I mean, there is like The Office and stuff, right? So there are things that have been like yoinked and they have worked well. Like, I think Survivor, for example. Survivor is not originally American either. I think there's a bunch of stuff that has been yoinked and has worked. But I think like serialized TV that is like super vibes heavy. Yeah, I can't really think of many Americanizations that have been very successful. At least none that come to mind right now. Where are you from? I'm from Latvia. It's not a supermarket, it's a country, I promise. There are probably... I guarantee, like, there are shows and movies that have been yoinked from other countries and they're actually good, but I just don't know about them. Like, the one that I always bring up is Edge of Tomorrow. It's like an adaptation of a light novel, right? And, it's just good on its own. And I'm sure there are other things like that that you just don't think about, because obviously I only think of the Death Notes. I only think of the Cowboy Bebops and all of that, you know? Like all the things that went wrong and not really any of the good ones. I'm sure there are at least a couple. Hunger Games equals Battle Royale. Yeah, that's like another one. I mean, that's more of a concept, I guess. My point is, I think it could be good, and I will watch it. I think the premise of Squid Game is really interesting. And right now, I'll probably watch like whatever they put out. They haven't really burned any like they don't have any bad faith at all with me. Carnival Youth? I'm pretty sure I mean I don't know. I don't like the only Latvian band I know is Prata Vatra. Carnival Youth. I mean, I'm sure I've heard of them, but I'm not entirely sure. Fincher will sure make it weird. If I really hope they lean into the psychological horror angle. Because that's I think like one angle that we didn't really explore with the original Squid Game. A lot of it was like it was like based on shock and just like what the hell's going on with my voice? About like the horror of just witnessing death, and that's about it. There really wasn't any kind of like psychological angle really. You didn't see people like going completely nuts. And I would love that. Favorite hobby? I don't know. Making YouTube videos. It's kind of sad when you think about it. You ask me what my hobby is, and I'm just like, I don't know. My job? I don't really listen to Latvian music, no. I don't. There is like, I do think that this band, this band right here, they're actually pretty good. What are they called in English? Can I translate this page? This is like Brainstorm, I think. Let me see if I can find them. Brainstorm Band. Yes, there they are. Their songs are pretty alright. They're pretty alright. The main singer has like a extremely recognizable voice, and I think he's a really good vocalist. Aside from that, I don't really listen to Latvian music. Latvian TV show or old movie you'd like to see Americanized? I mean, I'm sure everyone's heard of This must have already been westernized. This is a very old folktale that's... It's not even ours, never mind. Yeah, it's not even ours, it's from like the old days. But this is a movie about a dude, about a little man with a shovel who goes on an adventure, and he like let me see if I can find the scene. So here's a scene from you need some lore for this, right? You need a little bit of lore for this. So basically, he has a flute. The quality is obviously horrible because of course it is. So he has a flute that I think he got from like the... What's the lore again? Oh wait, he's been remastered. Hold on. Nekrodir. I start speaking Latvian. Found it. Let me find the scene. So the lore for this is I think he gets the fruit from like the mother of storms or something like that, and the flute can make anyone dance, right? It's like a magical object, and this is the devil. So he plays the flute, and this is our national treasure right here. Let's stop. Well, you get the idea. This is the most cursed thing I've seen in my life. But it's a pretty good story. It's a pretty good little story. I remember there's a scene in this where he gets like, when he's getting like the magical objects, because this whole thing is about like he's sad at home, so he wants to find a better home, so he leaves home, and big surprise, he realizes that his home is where he was meant to be, right? So it's basically like a cyclical story. But while he's trying to get those little magical objects thingies, he has to like, I don't remember why, but there's this big needle, and it gets poked through his hand. And it's shown on camera, and it looks really, really bad. I don't know how they did it. It's very convincing. It's not fun. You'd make a good vampire? Where's my... think you're funny. If you want to advertise your graphic thingies and you want me to give you money for graphic thingies, I will instantly ban you. Just FYI. Just FYI. Alright, let me bring this up. That's the One Piece stuff. No, I know that there was a bunch of like, someone was like, I saw something about like he's been reported to the FBI, but then the FBI found that everything is fine. I don't know the lore. I don't. Banhammer waiting. It's a really, really obnoxious trend, and I don't know like if he's doing it, but a lot of it probably isn't a problem with big chats, right? But people have even made binds for this. People just go around spamming the same messages. It's like, I made a tweet about this a couple weeks ago. Hello, what games do you play? Do you want to buy my stuff? He's like, no, I don't. No, I don't want to buy your stuff. If I wanted to buy your stuff, I would find you, and I would talk to you, and then I would buy your stuff. This is not how you sell things. You don't go to a random chat, to a random stream. It's like, yo, wanna buy my stuff? It's like, who does that? I'd be very curious to see what the conversion rates for this is, because I would imagine it's nothing. It's the same thing as, like, a couple of years ago, people went into random YouTubers' comments and, like, said subscribe to my channel. Why would anyone subscribe to your channel? How does this decision-making process work? Like, do you think you're gonna go to this literally random YouTuber, talk in their comment section, and suddenly everyone's gonna care about you without even knowing who you are just because you asked? That's... What? As if you can put your stuff on their shelf, basically. Still talking about streamers, though. The streamer awards have rolled around once again. And, Connor wrote up the... Did it? No, I said Connor. I did. Connor wrote up this little thing. You gotta nominate them. Connor's entire RV thing, the Cyclothon, this is the charity event, and Mouse for best VTuber, because of course, and Peter for best variety. I already nominated them. I'm not logged in on this browser. We gotta nominate them. These are the GOATs. These are the Koroto certified creators. Old Pete here, best variety creator. He's done so much stuff. How long has he been streaming now? I think it's been like a year and a half. It's something like that. Maybe a year, maybe a bit more. I don't remember. I remember when I think he went on Chris's podcast first, and then he plunged into streaming full time. But he's been really successful with it. I already nominated them. This is the Cyclothon was the big charity event. I think they raised like over $1 million or something. That was great. Running damage control all week, doing their research now? I mean, I don't know. With those kinds of things, what do you mean by posted? Because I saw that they went to the FBI, which is what you should have done. That's the number one thing you should always do. This internet drama means nothing. If something illegal is being done, you should go to the authorities, not post a YouTube video. Now, if they went to the authorities and then said, we found this thing, then sure. But realistically, if there's an investigation going on, you shouldn't post anything. But I don't know enough about it, like I said. Frankly, at this point, I don't even care. I just want to, like, see some sort of resolution. Because right now, it's like, there's so many different things flying around. I don't have the mental bandwidth to keep up with it. Mouse broke the record of subs. She did. Yes. See, they were the ones that edited the picture to censor it, and have since edited the video to censor it even more. I mean, it's good that they're at least fixing the I don't know what happened. I don't care. I don't care. If something bad has been done, they just need to get it fixed. Where's that picture from? I think it's a fan art they got, because they already won awards last time, I think. I do think there's a very, very good chance that she's going to win. Just because, like, she not only broke the record, she broke it by a pretty good margin. But Pete also absolutely deserves a nomination here. All Pete Premier 2. I wish I had even 10% of the charisma this man has. This would be... imagine how much more sociable my life would be if I had even 10% of his charisma. The way he tells stories, the way he talks, Pete is another, like... Oh no. You're not in the run? I'm not a streamer. No, I'm definitely not in the run. Let's find out the character. This is Iron Mouse and it's Connor. This is supposed to be Sea Dog VA and this is supposed to be Iron Mouse. You can nominate them right here at thestreamerawards.com. When are they happening again? There's a lot of these. I scrolled through them, and for most of them, I didn't even know what to put. Because I don't watch any roleplay streamers, for example, but you can skip them. I literally listed just a few people, and that's it. There is this thing I wanted to talk about, though. YouTube is reportedly testing a homepage layout without view counts and upload dates, and Zachary here said, I don't think a single person on the planet wants this. Now, usually with all these weird YouTube changes, like you might have noticed that your, like your YouTube player thingy is no longer, whatchamacallit, it's not red, it's like magenta-ish, purplish. So that was like one thing they made, and people were like, what's going on? That doesn't matter. Right? Like, no one cares about that. The big thing is when they do changes like upload dates, we'll get to this, and removing dislikes that actually hurt the user experience. Now, why did they remove dislikes? My theory, and this is the theory of many people, is I think it is to protect brands. They said that it's to protect small creators getting like, thumbs down bombed. I don't know what else to call it, like hate bombed, I don't know, hate rated, whatever. I think it's silly. I think the only reason they did it is because a lot of brands got like 90% dislike ratios, and they probably went to YouTube and said, hold up, we're probably not going to post ads on your website because every time we do, we get bombed. And it doesn't look good for us, you know? And then YouTube said, hold up, what if we remove them? We're still going to show them to creators because we want them to see your feedback. But we're not going to show them. That's why I think they did it. But the biggest problem with that, it's not the fact that it's annoying and you can't see it. It's not. It's the fact when you click on a tutorial or worse yet, misinformation of some sort, and you can't see people's feedback on the video. That's the bad part. And this being with upload dates, right? Testing out removing upload dates, what people are going to do is they're going to take old videos, change the thumbnail and change the thumbnail to make it change the thumbnail and change the title to seem relevant, and just push it into the algorithm again, because you won't be able to immediately tell what is new and what is old, right? And sometimes you would rather click on something that is new with more information rather than old. And this goes back to that misinformation angle, right? Like, if there is an updated news story, you should be able to see that one upload is from a day ago and the other one is from 2 days ago. The one from a day ago likely has more information. I don't care about view counts. I'm gonna be real. I don't. I do think that view counts are a very important what's the proper term for this? It's like societal affirmation, right? Societal not trust. There's a term for this, but you get what I mean. If you see a big number, that means people generally like it, which probably means that it's probably better, right? Like, you see a stream with 10,000 viewers, more people are going to watch that stream than a stream with 100 viewers, right? It's just, because what, 10,000 viewers must be a good stream, right? So I do think removing view counts is also a pretty bad call. I do. It might help small creators, but I think it sort of destroys the first impressions you would have by browsing the main page. And this is not because I already have an established audience. No. I went through this myself. I don't think it's like I think content is king, and I don't think if people don't see your view count, you don't have like no chance of popping off. I don't think that's true at all. So that's like a thing, whatever. Upload dates is the biggest one. I could care less about these changes. I almost never check them when I click videos. I do. I think upload dates is actually a big one. Like, views I can see going either way. I do think views is like a more subconscious thing that you might register, you might not. But I absolutely think that upload date is an important piece of information. Absolutely. I want to see dislikes. I do too. I think the biggest problem with dislikes is, again, not the fact that you can't see them and it's annoying. I think the biggest problem is that you genuinely click on a tutorial and you can't see people's feedback on it. If I click on a bad tutorial, I want to immediately see that it doesn't work. And I have the return dislikes extension, of course I do. But it's not accurate enough. Like, a lot of the time it's completely off. Because I think it extrapolates... Basically how I think the return dislike extension works is everyone who has the extension is like in the same pool, right? And it looks at the views against the number of people who have the extension, and then it basically does like a calculation based on the people who have the extension and have either liked or disliked the video, and then extrapolates it up for the number of views the video actually has, right? So when the Mr. Beast thing happened, for example, the dislike estimations were completely off because Mr. Beast just has so many viewers. You cannot accurately extrapolate from this extension to actually like a 100 million view video, you know? So with all these things, it's like an extrapolation. But upload dates you should be able to see immediately. Massive annoyance for more than a year now. People are using AI to generate 10 plus thumbnails and rotating them to farm clicks. Yes. Yes. I do think, like, to a degree, everyone does A/B tests, but there does come a point where, like, I think the biggest problem with that is genuinely the fact that, like, the YouTube, you've already watched this system, is just not good enough. It literally doesn't work half the time. Half of the videos I've watched, YouTube never thinks I watched them. I don't know why. Like, I can go through my YouTube history, and it's going to, like, you know, the progress bar? It's going to be at, like, 2%, even though I watched the whole video. And other times, I'll go through my history, and I'll find a video I never watched. And I'll be so confused, right? So it doesn't really matter if someone did, like, A/B testing, like, two months later after the video was uploaded. If YouTube just told me I'd watched it, And I mean, if I wanted to be, you know, start making theories, it's good for YouTube that you don't know. Because a lot of people, including myself, by the way, I watch a lot of YouTube while not really thinking about watching YouTube. So for YouTube's metrics, even if I rewatch the same video, it's a W for them. Maybe halfway through I'll realize, wait, I've already seen this. But for YouTube, they've already gotten like the engagement out of me. Some people where I watch most of their content, which when it's painful. I do it as well. I do A/B testing as well. It's kind of just what you have to do. It just makes sense to do. I try not to do it like a lot of the time, like 3 months down the road or something. But if a video is really, really underperforming, that's the thing. Like people say, this is one of the most weirdly debated things that people talk about, right? Like, I don't clickbait. I don't do this and that and blah, 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 blah. There is a reason why people do it. You know? And sometimes a simple title change works very well. People are, by the way, bullying me now. People have caught on to the fact that I use the word genius a lot in my videos. In the thumbnail, in the titles. Because it's a emotionally strong word and it implies something good. So it works all the time. I do it. And, I do it a lot. But it works. It works. Oh, you mean like they do it with the... Oh, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Yeah. Making thumbnails and then like having the little thingy. Yes. If you go into my... let me open up my main channel. So if you open up my main channel, the sad genius, the genius of basement, the genius world building, oh, I haven't used it in a while. The misunderstood genius, the genius of the bystander. I do it a lot. Because when you land on these words, because this is the most obnoxious thing. And Chris Broad, we just talked about him. He has said the same exact take. The most obnoxious thing about making videos is having to come up with a dumb title. It's so annoying. I have made this great 50-minute video, and like how people will decide on whether or not they're gonna enjoy it is by this little blurb under here. This is like the dumbest thing ever. You have to use these like weirdly emotionally resonant words that already imply some sort of strong emotion that people will be like, oh yes, true, based and real, right? So if something is considered good, you need to use good words. If something is considered bad, you need to use the most emotionally strong bad words, and then people will watch it. It's really obnoxious. It's really, really obnoxious. But it is what it is. Anyway, returning to my point, removing this is a bad idea. They shouldn't do it. It's a bad idea. Don't. YouTube does a lot of tests. I really hope they don't go forward with this, because this is bad. Don't do it, Mr. YouTube. Don't do it. Please. Other than that, YouTube's great. I don't know why they're suddenly doing some sort of weird rebranding with the Let me open up a video. Is it also showing up on streams? Hold on. This right here. Maybe some of you might not have noticed it, but now you will notice. If you look at the gradient here, it's not the same. I don't know why they're doing it, but they're doing it. All right, let me get these ready, and then we'll I think we'll start moving into the One Piece stuff. Otherwise, I think I've already yapped for like an hour, and we still haven't talked about the thing I meant to talk about. Hovering your mouse over a thumbnail and the video plays means the video is also in your history even though you didn't watch it. I think that's the biggest thing, yeah. And I think sometimes, because like I have multiple monitors, right? And I think I sometimes hover over a thumbnail and I go like AFK for a bit. And when I come back, the whole video is already played and I just don't notice. And I think that's probably like a big thing for me. Because when I go through some of my history, it's just random videos I've never watched. And I don't know why. The pink line is distracting, annoying. I don't care. I really don't care. If they want to change up the colors, sure, why not? Embrace the pink. Embrace the pink, embrace the... I wonder what would happen if YouTube went like full neon. You know, if one day they just said like, where's my remote? If one day they just pulled up and said, you know what? It's cyberpunk now. And they just became cyberpunk just like that. I think it'd be pretty interesting. And then they can one day say, now it's Halloween time. And then it'd be Halloween time. I think it'd be pretty cool if they changed up the colors sometimes. It's hard to scroll down without mousing over videos. Yes. Yes. All right, let's move into this stuff. Number one, this is a very, very minor One Piece live action bit of news. So Sopia Caruso, I guess, is speculated to play Miss Golden Week. She's been in Cape Town for a while, and there have been some cast interactions that fuel further speculation about her involvement. I think there were a couple of like Instagram posts where they were like signaling with fingers and stuff. I think that's where this comes from. The info found on the One Piece live action Discord server and shared on their official social medias. I don't think anyone's posted anything there. But yeah. So this is a very, very small bit of news potentially being cast. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's not true. But maybe. Maybe. I still don't understand her ability. The fact that it's just like hypnosis and there's no devil fruit, I still don't get it. I still don't get it. At all. Let me see what she's been in. Thought that was the actress from The Walking Dead. I don't think that is. Broadway Beetlejuice? I'm guessing that's not going to be on IMDb. Oh yeah, I'm guessing it's right here, right? Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out soon. I don't know when we should be expecting any kind of official news. Can I see if she doesn't have the photos here. I think someone else posted them, but there were like pictures of them on the beach or something, and that's where I think people got it. Grieving censored goth girl in that show? Which Walking Dead actor would you like to see in One Piece live action? Andrew Lincoln. Can you imagine Andrew Lincoln pulling up? Andrew Lincoln as Rayleigh. Bro. Andrew Lincoln as a Rayleigh. That would go so hard. He doesn't really he doesn't really fit Rayleigh though. I don't think he really fits Rayleigh. He kind of does it, he kind of doesn't. He does have the aura, he does. He absolutely has the aura. And he does have the Andrew Lincoln, season 9, episode 5. Let me see if I can find... Yeah, so if he had, like, this look... Why can I not open the picture in new tab? I think if he had, like, this kind of look, it could kind of fit Rayleigh, but not really. He absolutely has the aura, though. I mean, it doesn't really work. It doesn't really work, like, at all. Well, maybe. Maybe. I don't think I've ever seen Andrew Lincoln with glasses. That's a lie. I've seen these pictures of him, so I have seen him in glasses. Maybe it would. Maybe it would work. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea, like, who else he could play, though. Who else could be? I mean, JDM. Like, JDM is good in everything, right? That would be another great thing to have. Who else? Yeah, I can't really think of anyone else that I think would, Yeah, I don't know. JDM for Rayleigh? Rayleigh's vibe is so unique. I don't know. Like, to be honest, like, JDM right now, I think he's too recognizable. Yeah, the JDM is the dude who plays Negan. It's, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Of course. Jeffrey... Not... There we go. This guy. But I don't know if he'd work for Rayleigh. I don't know. Rayleigh is such a cool character in the sense that he has mad aura, but he also seems like a mentor, you know? And I feel like we've seen bits of that with Negan, for example, like in The Walking Dead. But I don't know. Because I'm just thinking of that scene, like in Return to Sabaody, where Luffy's waving goodbye to him. And he stays behind with like a tear in his eye. Yeah, I don't know. If they could get Patty, that'd also be great. I don't know for who, though. Don't judge an actor by their typecasting. Oh yeah, I'm well aware. I'm well aware a lot of the... I mean, look at Andrew Lincoln. Andrew Lincoln was in Love Actually. And then he was cast for The Walking Dead and everyone laughed at him. And then he became Rick Grimes. You know, it's the same thing with Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston was like a goofy little dude. And then he got cast as Walter White. So, yeah. It's definitely not like a... They're not capable of pulling off that emotion. I'm just drawing on, you know, the stuff I know. Crocodile's aura? Crocodile has aura. What was the actor's name? I forgot the actor's name. Well, he's so good. Like, he looks like Crocodile. He has Crocodile's vibe. I think he's gonna be great. Yes. Joe Manganiello. Manganello. This guy right here. He has mad aura. Like, look at him. Whoops. Is there like a normal picture of the statue? I don't think there is. Joe manga only? Yes. Negan as Lucci? Yeah, I don't know, like, who someone like Patty could play. I don't know. They've been so good with the cast that, like, I kind of wish they could keep on casting people who are not, like they haven't been in, like, The Walking Dead or, like, Game of Thrones, you know? Maybe a few people here and there, you know? But, like, not main characters. I did want to also briefly talk about this. I can't play this whole thing because I think Shueisha will sue me out of existence. But this is a preview for the upcoming volume, right? 110. This is the coolest freaking thing ever. It opens with the whole broadcast thing, right? And then they like go through the files and you could see them redacting pieces of information. That is so cool. Like right here. As a direct something something ignoring such something something something, and it's all crossed out. This is cinema. I really hope they go all in for this kind of stuff with the Void Century flashbacks. I wish we get to see like super fourth wall breaky things like this. This is so cool, and this is literally just a trailer for a manga volume. Why does it go so hard? I like how it's censored, not classified. Legendary sun god right here, and it's crossed out. Main character. Could it be that Luffy is the main character in the manga? I made this, by the way. The green screen is a bit wacky because I don't have a green screen. So I think if I move too close to the chair, I can make the chair disappear. But, this is the weirdest scene I think I've ever made. Wait, hold up. I just noticed that I'm not seeing the... What's that? Oh, never mind. Never mind. Definitely a best setup saga. I mean, Egghead was wild. It was absolutely wild. You know what I wish for? I wish someone made a documentary like this. This is gonna be, if you haven't seen Attack on Titan, I'm gonna give you massive spoilers real quick. So be warned for a couple minutes. There is this really cool video that I honestly wish, Kane Pixels, I'm sure a lot of you would have already seen this. Final warning, massive spoilers for Attack on Titan. So what he has done is he has done Attack on Titan historical footage, right? I can't play this. I can't play this. But it's basically real-world history footage mixed together with VFX that is basically telling the story of Attack on Titan as if it were historical footage. I eat this stuff up. When I see videos like this, I am eating good. If I had the time to make something like this, I would genuinely make an entire YouTube series in this format. I would literally sit down and record as if I was doing a documentary in like 1950. This is like top of the top of the top of the top of the list. If I ever win the lottery, this is what I would do. I would spend years remaking my favorite things in this style. And it goes so freaking hard. Because so much of this is like just stuff ripped right out of the anime, right? And then you have completely real world scenes. And then you have stuff like this that is like blend of both. You know? Like that's obviously Aaron running right there. It's so freaking cool. There was even the, yeah, there it is. This is so cool. I'm gonna tell you right now. When I get to season 4, I really, really want to reach out to him and try to use this footage. I don't know if he'll allow it, because like this is a ludicrous amount of work. But I would love to use it. It does say please provide credit, but I'll reach out to him. This is so cool. He has another one for Declaration of War too. I would do this. I would do this. Morphe losing her mind at Attack on Titan. I have seen it, yeah. I haven't actually like watched her full thoughts on it, but she's doing Attack on Titan now. She just did season 4. I don't think she's done her proper video. I think this is the ramblings of a madwoman, and I think those are like the extended ones. These are the proper videos. I've seen bits and pieces of them, and she's definitely enjoying the series, so that's good. Someone made a 3-hour-long video about Halo Reach, incident narrating everything from the novels and the game, but in Spanish. I'm telling you, if you gave me infinite budget, overanalyzing Attack on Titan would look like this. And this is what I mean, like, I memed about... Koroto, I memed about the fact that if someone gave me infinite budget, I would also do this. I would isekai myself into every single one of these scenes. Because I love doing this so much. It's so fun. I'd just be right there. If I had even more budget, I would actually make them talk in the background. And I'm just sitting there. I'm just chilling there. Because, like, the vibe is basically, like, going through memories, you know? One day. One day. And on a similar note, they also did this, by the way. So, if you tried reading the volume... Can I do it right now? Hold on, let me do this, just so I don't get blasted. Oh, I got censored. I got censored. Yeah, so basically, if you go through the pages of the manga, you get like 5 pages in, and then you just get censored. And this is basically what it says. The page you're looking at cannot be found. The page you are trying to access has been deleted by the world government because it may disturb world peace. This is so cool. Like, they didn't have to do this. This is one of those situations where they literally just didn't have to do this. No one cares about this. Except when they did it, it is so cool. This is the right here, the page I'm looking at. I think you can keep reading it somehow, but I don't know, like, you gotta click somewhere. I think you just refresh it, probably. Oh no, I got censored again. It's like that place never existed. It's so cool, though. Black Clover? I have not read Black Clover, no. Black Clover, is that what I'm thinking of? Oh yeah, this is one of the series I wanted to watch, but I never did. What's going on? We're looking at One Piece being censored by the world government. Software developers, we do take seriously 404 pages. I bet it wasn't requested, but the front-end developer made it just for the funsies. I mean, this is like genuinely like the type of stuff that shows that they really care, you know? This is like the purest expression of a creative vision. Because this means nothing. This is just a goof and a gaffe. Like, imagine making a website where you go there, you see the manga, you scroll for a few pages, and then boom, you get blasted by this. I love it. May destroy world peace. All right. That said, I think we should finally get to the SBS. All right. Let me organize them. There we go. All right. So another big piece of news is SBS. The volume just came out, right? It was censored, but it came out, and we got a new SBS. And this one, just from the few things I even saw, has a bunch of big news. And this isn't even the thing that Oda promised to answer questions to. So there's gonna be more. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be something big. Something big, probably, hopefully. All right, so the first one. This is from Pew Piece, who I'm still not gonna follow for spoilers' sake. I think they both spoilers. Reader. In chapter 1103, Luffy was so hungry and cannot move, but in chapter 1106, he became full. Who was it who gave Luffy food? Oda. In chapter 1103, Luffy started to wolf down food. When Luffy said food, who was it that responded? Was it Sanji or Frankie, who was present near him? Kizaru and Sentomaru were also there. Whoever did it never got exposed, it seems. That action seemed to be done in the speed of light. Even the naked eye can't see it. Even I don't know who did it. The speed of light. It's Kizaru. So it was Kizaru. Like, surely this isn't a ha ha. Sanji is moving at the speed of sound, or rather speed of light. It actually was Kizaru. That's really, really cool. What most of us expected? I do think most people expected him to flip, yes. I do think that was a generally held belief. But in the end, there didn't really seem to be any sort of like through line to that. You know, like we saw the poor man break down, and it seemed like he was conflicted, but that he didn't actually ever do anything to help the Straw Hats. But he did. He did. It happened. So now, the only thing I need to bring up is my conspiracy board, because when is he gonna flip completely? Bro Salino? Yes. So when will he flip completely and realize that he actually needs to fight for this little man right here? And for this little man right here? When is that gonna happen? I don't know. I don't know. But he has flipped. So he's a good dude. Straight from the man's mouth. I am very interested in the fact that Oda never made it more explicit, though. That is genuinely kind of interesting that he just answered it in the SBS. Maybe he just thought that people would like assume it and would go with it, but I feel like One Piece fans nowadays are kind of like, you need to show it to me explicitly, or we will always repeat the fact that, what if it isn't? You know? Because I do think basically everyone expected for Bro Salino to eventually flip. Did it happen before or after he killed Vegapunk? If it was before, he was hoping for them to actually save him. I don't remember the exact... I feel like it was right at the start. So it must have been probably... Might have been after, but I don't know. I don't know. Whatever the case, like the scene of him breaking down, obviously he is very, very, very conflicted. And he seems to be sick of this, you know? Whether or not he will eventually get over the fact that, you know, as he himself said, he's just a gear in the system. Who knows? Kizaru joining the revolution would be interesting. Each of the OG admirals in a different faction. I do think Oda is doing something with that, yes. The fact that we have basically all the admirals, like, sort of breaking off in splinter groups and doing their own little thing, like with Blackbeard obviously being the biggest one. It is interesting, yes. I don't want him to break off. I mean, I think it really depends on how this entire final conflict is gonna look like. He could be like just a... He doesn't necessarily have to be Luffy's ally, you know? He could still be fighting Luffy, but he could also be fighting the world government. He could just be on the side of the people, right? The only thing in that is that Luffy is on the side of the people, right? Like, exactly as we saw in Egghead, you know? And that's why he eventually ended up helping him. So, I don't know. I do think that the exploration of the admirals recently has been really, really cool, though. Similar role as Smoker or Garp during Marineford? I think Garp is a closer example, yes. I think Garp is probably like a very, very close example of that, because Garp was even more, like, reserved, right? Garp never did anything. In this case, Kizaru actually did something. And Smoker went full-blown ally with Luffy. Which, by the way, where is Smoker? Wrong scene. We did get a cover art of him pretty recently. He was dragging like the safe, right? And we thought it might be a devil fruit of some sort. Yeah, he was going with the crate. I remember. All right, moving on. New information about the Sword members has been revealed. Reader, I really love the Sword members, so I want to know their age and profile. Does Drake belong to the same class year as Kujaku and Prince? Parentheses, Gruss, also known as Sus. Full transparency, I basically, the Sword faction, like, I'm gonna be real. If you're talking about blind spots in One Piece, this Sword faction is my biggest blind spot. Most of the time, I don't even think about them. And I know I should think about them because they're like a whole separate group from the Marines and also from the Pirates. But like Kobe is obviously a ally of Luffy in a weird way, but he is also... This is a faction I just don't think about. And I need to think about them. It's difficult to point out what exactly you want to know about their profile, but I can give you their ages and heights and such. For more detailed information, it's written on the Viva card, One Piece Visual Dictionary. Good plug, Oda. I won't say something mean as, I want you to buy those. Oh. So it's not a plug. Okay, nice guy, Oda. One Piece Visual Dictionary. I already read that. I won't write it on here, SBS, but physically speaking, the information written there is much better. Don't get me wrong, since you asked for it, I will answer. Here you go. So, I guess none of this is actually new. God damn it, Colby is taller than me. Why does this always happen? Even Colby is taller than me. And even she is taller than me. For the first time in the story, you have characters who are actually human-sized. And they're still taller than me. I got my height measured very accurately. I am 162. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Maybe you haven't finished growing. I haven't gotten taller since I was 12. And I'm not joking. I've literally been the same size, the same weight, the same width. Everything has been the same since I was like 12. I don't know how that happened, but here we are. For context, I'm 23. Wait, am I 23? No way, I'm 22. I'm 22. Yeah, I'm 22. Bad math, bad math. And then there's freaking Drake, 233. Aren't your parents tall? No, not really, no. No, not at all. Short king since 12, yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunate. You know how usually like there's the meme of everyone in like grade 6 suddenly starts to grow extremely fast, and like there's the period where the girls are usually taller than the guys, and then suddenly the guys are the taller. That didn't happen. You're one of the tall kids for a while. I was never tall. I was always the smallest. Every single time when we had growth spurts, I was always the last one. It was sad. The funniest thing about that is that my voice got deeper incredibly fast. So I was very small, but my voice was deeper than most people I knew, like my age, obviously. And it was a very, very funny outcome. Anyway, my weird height insecurities aside, although Kujiko and Gruss is a junior of Drake, but their relationship is already like the same class. Also, I've been asked many times if Gruss is a prince from what country, but actually he wasn't. He's just a rich person. Okay. So he's just stacked. Okay. Jinbei's bad and good future has been revealed. So Oda has done like the good bad futures for everyone, and Jinbei wasn't a part of the crew yet. What will happen to Jinbei after 20 and 40 years? Jinbei is 46 years old right now, so let's see. He will be looking at in his 60s and 80s. Top, age 60, that's enough. Don't go after them. We're equal, so this is one right here. And 80, you've grown so much. Very wholesome, dude. And the bad futures is I will kill all humans, and 80 is I will drag you down to the sea floor. It's kind of bad, I think. I think that's kind of bad Jinbei energy. Jinbei could never have a bad future. I'm gonna be real with you. There are a bunch of characters who I think like maybe some bad things could happen to them. When I look at Jinbei, I just think he's a good guy. I don't think Jinbei could ever be a bad guy. He's just like a... What was it? Was it Egghead? Where he had like the dad shirt? Pretty sure it was just Egghead now. Yeah, there it is. Literally right now. He was wearing the little shirt. This shirt went hard. I can never see a single bad thing happening to Jinbei. Look at how happy he is. Look at him. Look at him. You really think Jinbei could have a bad future? Of course not. My favorite Egghead fit. I do think like out of the Egghead crew's outfits, Jinbei was the best one. Cause like Jinbei goes hard. Okay, Chopper as usual is just very cute. Nami is alright, I guess. Zoro looks cringe, and I don't know why he has noodle legs. Like bro not only like, what's the gorilla move? How do you spell gorilla? This is Ennie's lobby. Okay, there we go. This is what I wanted. Bro. Did he go on a diet? What happened? Why is he so skinny? Luffy is just Luffy. Sanji looks alright. Sanji looks like he's just on the beach, but not really. Usopp is kind of bad. Like the color, I don't know, it's kind of bad. Robin's alright, and Brook is kind of bad. These are like, Luffy also lost. Yeah, Luffy is another one. Like, Luffy was flexing big time. Luffy, Wano, sumo fight. I mean, to be fair, like, if you look at a scene like this and literally the next scene right beside it, I think his mass also fluctuates a lot. But there are some of the scenes where, like, he flexes and he's like, look at him. Like, bro is built different. Look at him. So I don't know what's happening there. Anyway, Jinbei is never gonna have a bad future. In the prison he is buffed? Yes. But the freaking Zoro move where he pumps up his muscles is so goofy. It's so goofy. Okay. Moving on. Oda reveals the reason he... I read this. I already read this. Okay. The reason why Luffy keeps his clothes on while he turns into his giant form. I've been counting... Okay. Get ready for this. Get ready. This is gonna be a journey, okay? This is gonna be a real journey. I've been counting certain words that Oda used in the SBS from Volume 4 up to Volume 106. Here's the result. Poop and poo 13 times. Boobs, big boobs, chest, etc. 19 times. Penis, willy, donk, etc. 36 times. What the heck exactly is the SBS? I think at this point Oda was just like, okay. You might have a point. You might have a point. Okay, well, are you for real? I really don't remember it too well. If there's anyone who said these, it's Sanada, I guess. Sanada? I don't know. Sanada? I guess. I don't know. My ideal SPS that I've thought of is like a quiet forest with sunlight filtering through the trees. A clean space filled with little birds and squirrels that's playing around. That's why... Please don't count these kinds of things anymore. Or rather again. Oh, here's a postcard from a kid. The age is not written. Is it from a middle schooler? Well then, please ask your question. Hello Oda-sensei, in chapter 1045 of volume 103, Luffy used a technique called Gomu Gomu no Giant, Gigant, I don't know. But how did his clothes and even his sandals got gigantic too? Please tell us. Okay, listen well here, Yuma-kun, name of the center. If Luffy's clothes get ripped off when he gigantifies, his dick is gonna come out. Imagine actually sitting there and writing this stuff down like 100% seriously. You know what? Someone needs to like keep a spreadsheet of all these words now. Someone needs to do specific analysis of the things Oda says and how often he says them. This is beyond cursed. Let's move on. Let's move on. The past of Admiral Ryo and Fujitora has been released. Reader, Odachi, Garchu, please tell me... please tell us the former occupation of Fujitora and this guy, before they became Marine Admirals. Alright, just that they became the ones in charge of... I read that as DNS. This looks like a D, but I said no. Ones in charge of the defense of the affiliated nations of the world, to the world government, through the system called World Military Draft. These two were handpicked by the Marines. So this is this guy right here. Aramaki hails from the South Blue. He was a police officer from the Taya Kingdom and caused a great incident involving a woman and got thrown into prison. Doesn't sound particularly great. His reputation of possessing extraordinary strength reached the government. He got drafted into the Marines and immediately got a special promotion to Admiral. Interesting. Interesting. To be fair, he's not very cool, so I'm not surprised. He's not very cool. Now, Fujitora, that's what I'm curious about. Fujitora. Isho hails from the West Blue. He incurred losses on a gambling house in Twin Snake Island, and the place he was working as a bodyguard was bought by the world government with a large sum of money. Isho was a former defense military chief in the Aoi, I guess, Blue Kingdom that once existed in the Grand Line. The Aoi Kingdom was destroyed because the war, and he became a significant war criminal. The government will eventually be made aware of this fact. Huh? Isn't that kind of important? So he was a defense military chief in a kingdom. And then a war happened. And he became a significant war criminal. And the world government will eventually be made aware of this fact. Isn't that kind of like very, very big lore that we don't know about? Why is it in the SBS? I've got no idea what the implications of this might be. Is this where he lost his eyes? Maybe. Maybe. Did he see very, very bad things? How does Morgans not know about this? Good question. Because this is like an actual war. Hold on, you know what? Now I just want to go to his wiki. Just to like refresh my knowledge of what we know and what we don't know. I forgot his name. Fujitora. Isho. So I don't think we know anything about why he like slashed his eyes, right? I don't think that has ever been revealed. Fujitora is a virtuous and benevolent man who put great emphasis on doing the right thing while preventing misfortune for others. He detests evil to such a strong degree that he blinded himself on purpose, inflicting damage on his eyes out of sorrow for all the evil he had seen. So, you know what this kind of seems like to me? This seems like to me that he might have once been a very, very, very bad dude, aka a war criminal, and then he changed his ways, and that's when he became like a very chill dude. This might be like a Uncle Iroh situation. Because I just assumed that like he might have been forced to do things that are like, you know, bad, evil, yada yada, but not an actual war criminal. You know? I can see the whole line of thinking that, you know, like, justice is so hard, yada yada, that, like, he just cut his eyes. Sure. But he's a war criminal. I'm starting to think that he cut his eyes because of the things he did. Could also mean that he was branded as such for being on the losing side. True, true, true. But I do think, like, it's not just a notable figure in a war. I do think war criminal, that implies something much, much darker, you know? I think there might have been a situation where so he was a defense, yeah, so he was a defense military chief. I think something really, really bad happened there. Then he went all out, like he did really, really bad things in order to protect the kingdom. But the kingdom was obviously destroyed, right? And because of like the death he caused while trying to protect it, I think that's why he slashed his eyes. So I do think he did things that might constitute the title of a war criminal because he went overboard. The only very, like, interesting thing to me is the 7 warlords. Because, you know how we got a new warlord through Ace, right? Wait, was it through Ace? Who was the warlord that was introduced? Literally, like, One Piece, Egghead, warlord, new. I don't remember who the new warlord was. That's not that. Okay, so I'm remembering it correctly. Yes. So Ace defeated a warlord and was offered the position. Yes. Yes. That's what I remember. Yes. So I'm starting to think that that might have something to do with this. I do think there is a universe where this ex-warlord has something to do with Fujitora and why he wants to abolish the warlord system, right? Because this whole thing about abolishing the warlord system was the fact that you shouldn't give, like, power to pirates, right? So I do think there might be something with that. He was about to drop a meteor on Marie Joie, so that tracks. Exactly. I do think he just went, like, super overboard and probably killed a lot of people accidentally. And then he was like, hey, yo, not good. And then he blinded himself because of the horrors he had seen. I wouldn't even be surprised if Oda goes, like, all in and he had, like, a family or something, and then he saw his family under a big rock. That'd be pretty bad. Yeah, but that's really interesting. That is really interesting. My current bet is the fact that it's probably like the warlord that we've heard of, and there might have been, but that doesn't really make sense. I was about to say maybe he became a warlord through this war that happened on this kingdom, but that doesn't really make sense because why would he get an invitation to the warlords for like literally waging a war? I just think it's really interesting that we were coincidentally introduced to a new warlord, and he still wants to abolish the warlords, and now we have this little connection bit here of a war. Dr. Macabre and Full Alchemist should cross over and give his side back to Fujitora. That scene in Dressrosa was really wholesome, yeah. I don't think, like, he has some kind of... like, I think the Fujitora we are seeing right now, the one that is, like, actually at peace, and has this, like, very... I think the article here used, like, the word benevolent. If, like... I think this is the real Fujitora. I don't think there's, like, any kind of thing where he's hiding the secret where he became a war criminal. I think that is the past that made him into this guy. So I do think, like, the whole I wish I got to see you smile yada yada, I don't think there's a dark secret with him. I think he's a good guy. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, let me check if there is anything more with the SBS. Oh, we looked at that. There was a bit more information on the vice admirals, but it's just extra bits. I'll open it up. So there are a bunch of, like, design questions. I won't really go through those. But this is one. Designer behind the Gorosei clothes has been revealed. The suits that the 5 elders are always wearing are the high-branded designer clothes. Is there a shop in Marie Joie that specifically caters to them? Please tell us about the clothes designer too. Oh, his name is this. A play on Giorno Armani. LOL. A designer of clothes, specialist... A designer clothes specialist who hails from the leather boots, kingdom in the East Blue. Only the 5 elders are allowed to wear his special clothes. So now we know. In situations like this, I just have to stop and think how ridiculous this actually is. Can you think of many other authors who will actually, in 100% seriousness, answer who makes the clothes of characters? This is so glorious. So now we know where they got their suits from. Glorious. Incredible. And this. So this is about the vice admirals who were on Egghead. Now, these are names that I constantly forget, right? So this could be like a good piece of lore for me, because I always forget about them. But I'm gonna forget about them anyway. Oda Sensei, among the 9 vice admirals that went to Egghead, there's one that looks similar to Rear Admiral Kadar, who appeared in Fishman Island. Past flashback. Did he get promoted? Also, please tell us. By the way, I will never live this down. Yes, these admirals, sometimes they appear and they get promoted. Yes, apparently Akainu is in the anime flashback in Eni's lobby. No, I did not catch it. I will never live this down. So yes, some of these they do get promoted off screen and then just show up again. Sort of like Lucci, I guess, which is funny. Please tell us the profiles of the other vice admirals. Oda, you're referring to the Hound, right? It's true that he looks like Kadar, but they are different persons. Please forgive me for the rough sketches, but with the exception of Vice Admiral Doberman, who was introduced in the past, here are the profiles of the other 8 Vice Admirals. I will instantly forget about them. I will, but let's read through them. Vice Admiral Pomsky. He ate the Rako Nomi, otter fruit, and became a sea otter human. He strikes a powerful attack with a seashell. Incredible. Vice Admiral Dahl, martial artist with a rock and... I was about to say rock and stone. With a rock and stone soul, with a rock and roll soul. Yes, you can tell that by the choker, by the way. If you did realize, that's why the choker's there. That's why. A Vice Admiral Tossa. He can bite with his hand. Earth T fist style user. Incredible. TL note. Tossa-ken, I guess. Earth T fist is a play on Tossa dog breed. I don't know. Tossa is the Japanese fighting dog breed that Tossa's name is most likely based on, which follows the canine naming theme of some vice admirals. Okay, nice. I want to look up this dog breed. It's an alright dog. It's an alright dog. Okay. Vice Admiral Urban. He ate the Tsutsunomi cannon fruit and became a artillery human. The top of his head. Look at the top of his head! Became a cannon. Nice. Vice Admiral Bluegrass. She ate the Nori Nomi ride fruit and became a piloting human. She can turn any living thing or object within her hockey range into her vehicles. She's like an older sister to Great Staff Officer Tsuru. That is a very weird power. Vice Admiral Hound. He ate the Inu Nomi model hound. This is another dog. He's on the same class year with Smoker. Nice. Vice Admiral Red King. He punches with a steam engine powered right knuckle. That's all he does. He just punches. Vice Admiral Guillotine. The blade on his head can be thrown like a boomerang. Incredible. Incredible. I am sorry to say, I will forget about all of them. I will. The one that can turn anything into like a flying thing, that's a bit out there, but you know. Even Doll. I think we've seen Doll like a number of times now. I think that's why I recognize her. But I always forget like what's her deal. And I also remember this guy right here, the chin guy. The chin guy is very memorable. All the others, not so much. I'm really, really bad with names and faces. I'm so bad with that. I'm so bad with that. Alright, let me see if there was anything else. There was I think like a Yamato design thing. Well, that was about it. Look at that. Look at that. The Elbow Tribe. I mean, this is just like a cute little drawing. About Yamato who ate a devil fruit because of hunger. What did the child Yamato's beast form and human beast form look like? And he just drew like a little cute illustration. Very nice. Names of each elbow from the long arm tribe have been revealed. LMAO. The long arm tribe has 2 elbows in 1 arm, right? Does each of these elbows have their own terms? Wow, that is a wonderful question. You know what this is? This is literally that freaking like the close-up on what's his name? I completely forget his name. The guy who we met on Zoe. Not on Zoe, on Punk Hazard. The samurai guy, what's his name? Completely forget his name. But the thing of, I didn't think of that, you know? Like let me just bring up the meme. One Piece, I didn't think of that meme. Kinemon, yes, this right here. This is literally Oda's live reaction. Like, do they have, because like theoretically, like you would assume that it only makes sense if you have 2 elbows. Like this is an elbow. What if I had an extra one? It would have a different name, right? Because it's not a singular elbow. Now there'll be 2 of them. They need separate names. And Oda is just like, wonderful question. Meanwhile, this is Oda right now. I'm very moved. Yes, of course they of course they have their different names. The elbow closer to the hand is called the friend elbow. The elbow that is closer to the shoulder is called the love elbow. This seems to represent the emotional distance between you and your significant other. This is excellent. I love this. I'm glad I read this. But that's it. I think that's it for all the SPS. I think we went through all of it. Look up when the word elbow was invented. When? How was the word elbow invented? Do I want to look this up? Whoops. Hold on, I messed up all my tabs. Invented. Elbow comes from the... I mean, this is just like... Yeah, I don't know. When was it invented? Okay. 1508? Yeah, I don't know. That's just him yapping some BS. I mean... The fact that he writes it like, this seems to represent the emotional distance between you and your significant other. It's just literally just like... What did we call it before the 1600s? I think before the 1600s, medicine was not that great and people didn't really worry about how to call certain body parts. Like, straight up. I think people just said arm and that's it. I'm sure there are a lot of different things that just don't have a specific... Like, for example, in the Latvian language, there isn't a word for a nephew. I remember I was trying to translate this because I was thinking about like Uncle Iroh and Zuko. There is not a word in the Latvian language for nephew. It just doesn't exist. I don't know why. Like, the only way you can describe it is like, what would it be like? Your brother's son? And you're the uncle? And then he's your nephew? But there is no word for nephew. I don't know why. It just doesn't exist. It's the same thing with an elbow. They just didn't know what an elbow was. Alright, but about this. I lost it. What I was gonna say. Fujitora. He's gonna be important. He's gonna be real important. Big importance. Latvian word for uncle. Uncles. Sounds kind of similar, I guess. Keys to the reveal. The keys to the reveal is big. It's big. And whenever we talk about the long arm charm, by the way, I think of these guys, right? I think of these guys up here, and then I think about them in the context of this. Right? What's up with the summoning ritual and an actual summoning ritual? What's the deal with that? How did that happen? That seems like a bit of a coincidence. How'd they do that? I don't know. And then you sometimes think about the straw hat in Marie Joie. A lot of weird things. A lot of weird things. A lot of weird things we'll never know. A lot of weird things. But that's the SBS. That's all Oda wrote. Swedish nephew is just brother or son. It's the same thing in Latvian, yeah. Like, there is no singular word for nephew. It's just either your sister's son, daughter, or your brother's son, daughter. There is no, like, word for nephew at all. And I don't know why. It just makes sense that there would be a word to describe that. You know? I'm sure there are others that are, like, with familial matters. Because a cousin does exist. Oh! Stepbrother and half-brother. So in Latvian, both stepbrother and half-brother is just pusbrālis, which directly translated means half-brother, right? I said this in the Attack on Titan video, and people were like, not to spoil it, this guy is not this guy's stepbrother, it's his half-brother. And I was like, what do you mean it's the same thing? It's not! I didn't know this! I thought it was the same thing! Why do you guys in Norwegian have letters that seem like you typoed and then you cross them out? How did that happen? Why'd you start crossing out letters? You just typed an O and crossed it out? Was it a typo? Sibling's daughter is niece? That might as well be English. That seems to be like from the same root, yeah. All this language stuff is fascinating to me. I could look at like the... Was it etymology of words? For hours. I find this fascinating. You know what? Let me look at it. Nephew. Etymology. Oh, so it just comes... There isn't even any complicated shenanigans. It's the most vanilla thing. From Latin into Old French into English, and that's it. English is like 40% Norse. I wonder why. I wonder why. Pronouns of Asian languages. Aren't like a lot of them not even defined? Japanese language pronouns. Because I know, like, a lot of the stuff in Japanese is completely undefined. And by undefined, I mean, like, you don't even normally say it. I do know that a bunch of this stuff is like, yeah, like, this is casual, formal, yada yada, you need to know them. You want to hear something real spooky? How do you call them? Conjugations? This is how you... If you ever thought about learning Latvian, this is what you will have to know. So this is called, what are they called? Not vowels, what's like an L? What's an L? The letter L, what is it? I forgot the term for them. But like, you need to know these, how letters change when they're next to each other, right? So we have all of these, and all of these are in these different things, and in three declinations, and they will depend on whether or not it's singular or plural. Consonant, yes, that's the one. So you'll need to know all of these, and there are exceptions too. Exceptions that not even Latvians know. Because sometimes an S will become a Z, right? And no one knows why, it just does. There are rules for that, but no one knows them. So Latvian is an interesting language, right? So if you want like a cheat sheet, you would be looking at something like this. Oh no, these are just like specific Oh, right. In order to even do this, you need to know which words like are classified in each of these little things. I don't remember this. The last time I took Latvian was 5 years ago now. It's been a while. I don't know any of this stuff. This is a single word, by the way. Yeah, so this is I, this is you. Oh my god, this takes me back, man. This takes me back. The funniest thing was, like, everyone always had higher grades in English than we did in Latvian, because Latvian, like, the grammatical rules, they're absurd. Because I know, like, for example, like in English, commas, for example, I don't think there are actually, like, predefined rules for commas. Commas are just used to make speech flow. In Latvian, there are literally rules where you place commas. It's not like I think I should place a comma here to make the speech flow. No. You can't do that. You can't place a comma there because it'll make it better. You need to place them only where they're supposed to be placed. And nowhere else. If you place them somewhere else, it's gonna be wrong. It's absurd. I don't even want to think about it again. You can't know unless you have experience with it, because they're holdovers of grammar rules that are generally no longer used. I mean, the thing with like with Latvian specifically, for example, like the language is changing so much because like there are words that just don't exist. Like I remember when fidget spinners came out, right? And instead of just calling them fidget spinners, just using Latvian letters, people started calling them like a... How would I define it? So if you were to translate it directly back from Latvian into English, it would be called a grab turner. Right? So the word of to grab and to turn. And that's what a fidget spinner was in Latvian. And it sounded so cursed. It was so cursed. Nowadays, they've given up. Like, all the new words that come out, we're just like, fine, we're just gonna say the word, but we're gonna say it in Latvian. Like, in tandem, for example, I hear people on the news saying tandema, right? It sounds absurd in Latvian, but people just say that. Second official language? I don't know what classifies as a second official language, because you're supposed to take 3 languages while you're in school. I don't think English is like actually considered an official language. I don't know what constitutes an official language on like a country level. I don't know. Because like obviously all of our documents are in English and they're in French, right? Because it's EU, right? Outside of that, I don't know. Because I took 4 languages, but I only know English. It is what it is. Yeah, that is defined by the government, and there are rules around that, right? Like, and I think like even right now, I think there are certain places where you can work without knowing Latvian, for example, but like basically how it works is I think you must know Latvian absolutely, but now like I think like Ukrainian people coming into the country, I think they have like a very, very long period where they don't need to actually learn Latvian. They can work as is, but they need to take like courses for Latvian, right? But I don't think you can work at all if you don't know Latvian. I think that is illegal. So I would assume that Latvian is currently the only legit language. I'm pretty sure anyway. But because it's the EU, everyone uses English. Like literally, everyone uses English without exception. And it's totally fine. I took my entire university in English. 5 years studying French and I remember nothing. I spent 3 years studying French and I also remember next to nothing. I can understand things, but I can't speak at all. Like, if I start speaking French, it's gonna be cursed. When I read things and I hear things, I can understand bits and pieces of it. I think, like, I don't think people are gonna learn a language in like traditional school. I just don't think that's ever gonna happen. I don't. I can tell you 95, 96, 97, 98, maybe even 99% of the English I know comes from the internet and not school. Why do I say that? Because I already spoke fluent English by grade 1. Which was a very cursed experience. And the biggest thing, like, with studying a language, you need to use it as well. And I think, like, that's why... I think that's why English is such a dominant language. You literally can't escape it, you know? Like, if you're learning English, you're gonna be learning it 24/7. Like, you're gonna be learning without even realizing that you're learning it, just because it's, like, the default language for everything. And I'm totally fine with this, by the way. I am totally fine with this. I wish we could all speak English and there would never be any weirdness, any misunderstandings, anything. I do think cultural preservation is an important deal, you know, and it's cool, but practicality is also very cool, you know. Main takeaway from 3 years of learning German was how to order a beer and how to order Coca-Cola. Don't like that. Don't like that. Took French because I already learned English before then. We take both. Like, basically how it works here is grade 1, you obviously have Latvian, right? Which, by the way, I am still surprised with this. Does the US not have a separate subject for literature? It's just English? Because we have Latvian, and that is just grammar. It's like literally just literacy. And then we have a separate subject called literature, which is reading and analyzing things. But alongside that, in grade 1, you already have English. So English is like the default thing where you're supposed to take English 100%. Then I think you can take more, but like that's like the government's rule. You take Latvian and you take English. Then I think by like grade 4, you have to pick a third language. Right now, I think it's German, French, or Russian, I think. There might be something else. And then it depends on the school you go to. I'd also love to go to Germany just speaking English. I'm not gonna lie, like, and I've said this before, like, especially after university, so many of the, like, specific terms that I know, I only know in English. Like, I unironically go on Google Translate to translate things that I'm saying back into Latvian. Because there are so many words that just, like, I never use them in Latvian, so I don't even know what they actually are. And, it'd be great if everyone just understood me and I could just talk in English 24/7. Because, like, a big problem also here is that people blend languages. And that's what I said. I think I said that at the start of the stream, too. If you go and walk around the streets, you'll hear people, like talking in Latvian, suddenly say 2 sentences in English, back to Latvian, spur in, like, 3 words of Russian, then 3 more sentences of Latvian, then 5 more sentences of English, and it's just, like, an absolute mess. And it's kind of not good. But what's the purpose of language? It's to communicate. And if we can communicate... I don't know why it's zooming in on me. Well then... Wrong thing. Well then, you know. More English than Norwegian? Yeah, I mean, yeah. There have been very, very interesting studies as to why, like, English is the language that completely dominated everything. Because there was, like, this is gonna be another Koroto stream talking about interesting things that never happened, but they're interesting. So if you didn't know, if you know how a lot of the time we think about what if everyone lived on the same time zone? What if everyone used metric? What if everyone just used metric? The measurement system that actually makes sense. You just take the unit and multiply the unit. That's it. It's metric. Very simple. What if everyone did that? But one thing that exists is there was the attempt to create a universal language. Right? I think people still learn about it. People still speak it, yada yada. But it obviously never caught on, right? Oh no, my headphones just died. I'm just gonna sit here in silence now. There was an attempt to do this, but it didn't work. And there were like more studies into why it might not have caught on. And I remember reading about something like the English language is incredibly dense. Language densities. Lexical density. Yeah, so this. So you can calculate like how you express ideas in a language. And I think the English language is absurdly dense. Like, it is absurdly efficient. I don't know why, but it is. And there were people who like hypothesized the idea that that's why English is so popular, because it naturally just became efficient to use for everyone. You know, it was easier to learn, it was easier to express, yada yada. But this is right here. According to your written forms of human communication in the English language typically have lexical densities above 40%, while spoken forms tend to have lexical densities below 40%. So this is saying that it's apparently not even the same. I read somewhere, this is like my sources that I made it up, but it was like a lecture of some sort. People were talking about this. And that was one of the hypotheses as to why English is so popular. This is stuff you think about at 3 a.m., by the way. I mean, yeah, you do mention probably the true reason why it's universal. 400 years of colonialism of the British Empire. It's probably the real reason. But, you know, it's stuck around, you know, it's pretty efficient. Times 12 is also a multiplication. Why would you ever want to times 12 something if you can just add another 0? Why would you ever want to times 12 something if you just add another 0? Like, literally, you want to see how to use metric, okay? Right? You want to see how to use metric, right? Right here. It's just a 10 with one 0, a 10 with 2 zeros, 10 with 3 zeros, 10 with 4, 5, 6 zeros, 10 with 7 zeros, 8, 9 zeros, 10 with 10 zeros. It's very, very simple. That is the beautiful thing about multiplying by 10. You just add a 0. Or, if you're going in negatives, you just move the comma and that's it. What the hell is this going from a foot to a mile? Who measures stuff in feet? I'm just gonna... Oh my god, it makes me so mad. What is this? Who came up with this? Are you insane? What is this? I have to move my face because it's so wrong. Who came up with this? Who thought this was a good idea? Literally, who thought this was a good idea? Exactly, 1 liter of water at 1 atmospheric pressure equals 1 kilogram. It is so useful. It is so useful. Everything is just so neat, so perfect, so beautiful. Water freezes at 0, water boils at 100. It's so beautiful. And when you're talking about millimeters, centimeters, meters, you just add zeros. What is this? What was this? Inches to a foot. Feet to a yard. Yards to a mile. How do you go from times 12 times 3 times 1,760 times 60? It's absurd. Stop it. Stop it. Just stop it. It's enough. It's enough. We have calculators. We don't need this stuff anymore. We don't need to measure things in feet. You can get one of these. One of these right here. This one's very dirty. One of these. 5 meters. Right? You don't need to take your foot and measure things. You don't. You just take this and pull it out and measure things. There is no need to use your foot. Absolutely no need. The UK is the worst, yeah. Because UK uses like, UK measurements versus, metric. This is absurd, because they like use a lot of the stuff that is metric, but they also use imperial. It is insane. A gallon, an ounce. I will never understand this. I will never understand this. Cutting my toenails so I can measure this properly? Something like that, yeah. Oh, it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. Because, like, the problem is, I don't care that you're gonna use your feet to measure things. The problem is when I want to buy something, and it's like 5 feet, right? And then if you actually take 5 feet, and I think if you convert it precisely, it's not actually a round number. Yeah, it's not, exactly. Because, like, usually 1 feet is 30 centimeters, right? But it's not actually. It's, like, slightly off. And if I want to buy something that is 5 feet, and it's 152 centimeters, and what if most things in here, like in Europe, are sold as 150? Well, now I'm 2 centimeters off, and I'm somehow will have to adapt it. And how will I do that? I don't know. It's just 2 centimeters off for no reason. It makes me so mad. So mad. Oh, it's so bad. I do think there are places where inches are totally fine. I do. For example, with TVs, right? To be fair, it would also be great if they use centimeters. But like TVs are currently just use TV measurements. Like you just measure TVs in inches, right? But you do that because it's just like a essentially random number that is indicative of a scale, but most people don't actually measure their TVs. Like they just don't. It would be great if they were in centimeters though. It would be very helpful. Because when I think of a screen, I never think of 24 inches as like 24 inches actually across. I don't actually think that. I just think of a, you know, like a, I don't even know how to put it. Like for me, it's literally just a meaningless number that is indicative of size, and that's it. I don't actually think about it in real life scale terms. I don't think I've ever seen a TV actually like written in centimeters and diagonal. I don't know why. It's weird. Also, this is the worst infographic ever created. What? Do you want me to calculate the frickin'... I don't even know what it's called in English. I guess it's probably the same thing, but it's just gonna sound weird. They give you like the lengthwise thing. I don't want to try and pronounce it in English because it would sound weird. You want me to... Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about metric now, I promise. I promise that's enough metric talk. Enough metric talk for now. Let me close off all my tabs. I hate it so much. And then there's gonna be the Fahrenheit defenders. Oh no. The Fahrenheit defenders. Okay, let me go through Twitter real quick to see if any other big news is dropped, and if not, I'm probably gonna go to bed. I'm getting EP. Oh, YouTube has responded to the thing we talked about. So YouTube is saying that this is not actually what they're doing, apparently. So, just to clear up, fake news. This might be a unaccounted for interaction between certain browser extensions. Something makes me believe those might be ad blockers. I need to figure out this with this zoom thing, because it's sometimes zoom. I think it's because it can't see my face. So if I put my mic there, I don't know how it zooms. Why is it zooming? I'm not doing anything. This is a plugin. It's a useful plugin though. But yeah. So they're not actually going to remove it. That's good. That aside though, I didn't even look at that. Okay. Blizzard. I'm so salty at Blizzard. I'm not playing WoW anymore. I'm done. I'm so mad at Blizzard. Blizzard's such a disappointment. I'm so sad. Wait, is RK next week? Hey yo. Hold on, let me check. Let me check. So there is a Survivor episode in 2 days, the most important thing. It's not updating for me. There's a bunch of stuff coming out like now in November, December. Oh yeah. 11 days. November 9th. Hell yeah. Oh my god, and then in just a couple more days, the Cobra Kai comes out. And then it's more episodes of, oh my god, there's gonna be so much stuff to watch. And the One Piece remake is also starting real soon, right? Well, not the remake, the remaster. Oh, there's gonna be so much stuff to watch. Jesus. Okay. We're gonna have to figure it out. And then I still need to get tickets for the Lord of the Rings anime movie. Because that's also coming out soon. That's like the start of December, I think. Something like that. When the hell is the Attack on Titan movie going international? Attack on Titan, Last Attack. Movie international. Oh, it's not really. Never mind. You don't ever review shows when they drop. There's no traffic to your channel. True. I will be experimenting a little bit. There's going to be like an extra Attack on Titan video, and that's going to be an experiment. And if that experiment works out, I might do more like timely content. We'll see though. I just need like an editor. How does one get an editor without paying an editor? Is that possible? I don't think that's gonna work. Unfortunately. One day. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed. That's a lie, actually. I'll cut up the SBS thing and I'll put it up on this channel, but then I'll go to bed. And I'll probably be back on Thursday, something like that. I think there should be a... Oda is dropping the questions and answers thing tomorrow, I think. It's abusing interns. Imagine if I could get an intern, that'd be great. We'll see what happens, basically. Whatever Oda decides to release, I'll talk about it. Is it cold there? I mean, it's getting cold, but I'm also cold because reasons. Anyway, I'm gone. Goodbye. Bye. I'm leaving now. Bye.